Chair of the Philippine American Press Club, PG&E Wildfire Safety Webinar 2024. Esther was president of PAPC from 2010 to 2017 and formerly vice president for sales and marketing at Inquirer.net's U.S. Bureau. Esther currently is founder and publisher at Easterworks Media. Esther?
Thank you very much, Wenny, for the introduction. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Ako po ay si Esther Chavez, and together with me is Joseph Peralta, President of PAPC and Vice President and General Manager of Asian Journal, Northern California. We, the members and officers of PAPC, would like to thank PG&E for this special webinar in Taglish for the Filipino-American community. Napaka-importante na lahat tayo ay may alam kung paano maging ligtas sa mga wildfire. And ang PAPC ay binubuo ng mga dyaryo, TV, at online news outlet kagaya ng Inquirer.net, ABS-CBN, TFC, Philippine News Today, Asian Journal, Radiant View, Positively Filipino, at PhilAm Post. So kasama natin ngayon ay si Fiona Chan, Principal ng Integrated Multicultural Communications ng PG&E, at si Attorney Regina Venzon, our moderator today. She will be introduced by our President, Joseph Peralta.
Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. It is my honor to introduce Attorney Regina Venzon, who is currently Chief of Staff to the Chief Operating Officer of PG&E. Si Attorney Venzon ay nagsimulang magtrabaho para sa PG&E simula noong taong 2020. Prior to that, she was Chief of Staff to the CEO and Managing Director of AGL Energy in Australia and the Executive Manager of AGL's Diversity and Inclusion Group. As a lawyer, Ms. Venzon worked as in-house counsel in Australia and was a senior associate of top-tier firms in Australia and the Philippines. Attorney Venzon studied law in Cambridge University and the University of the Philippines. Si Attorney Venzon ay pinanganak at lumaki sa Pilipinas at nanirahan sa Sydney, Australia for 15 years before moving to California in December of 2019. Without further ado, naririto po si Attorney Regina Venzon.
Thank you po. Thanks for introducing me, and good afternoon po sa inyong lahat. I wanted to say thank you for joining us here today so that we can discuss the PG&E Community Wildfire Safety Program. So sa PG&E po, every meeting we start with a safety message. If we go to the next slide, ang ating safety message po today is all about making sure we are prepared for any emergencies. And the best way to do that po is to make sure na meron tayong emergency go bag. So yung emergency preparedness kit natin, maglagay po tayo dyan ng tubig, yung mga non-perishable na pagkain, yung mga gamot na kailangan natin. Flashlight is important, no? First aid kit. And then if you go to the pgne.com website, please ensure na updated po ang inyong contact information kasi yung email or yung text with your phones, yan po very important for us to notify you kung meron kami mga gustong message na ipadala sa inyo. If you want more safety tips, nandyan po yung PG&E site kung saan nyo pwedeng makakuha ng more information about emergency preparedness. So, yan po ang start natin. And today, we're going to be discussing a few things. If we go to the next slide, you'll see that we're going to be discussing things like wildfire risk. So, panganib sa wildfire. At kung ano yung mga ginagawa ng PG&E para sa mga komunidad natin, para mapanatili tayong ligtas. Not just people, but also our homes and our businesses. And then, before we open to questions, meron po tayong mga resources na i-share sa inyo. Having said that, kung meron po kayong questions at any time, please feel free to post it in the chat. Or if you want, you can raise your virtual hand, and then I'm happy to answer your questions. My partner here, Fiona, will also be very happy to answer your questions in the chat. Or if I direct a question to her. Okay, so siguro magsimula na po tayo, no? Ito po ang pag-uusapan natin, Community Wildfire Safety Program. So we launched this way back in 2018 to respond to the wildfires dito sa California. So if we go to the next slide, Siguro po ipaliwanag ko, no, in-introduce ako kanina, no, na sa Australia po ako for the past 14 years, 15 years bago ako lumipat dito. Doon ko po unang naranasan ang wildfire. So at sa Pilipinas, di ba, wala naman tayong masyadong wildfire. Meron tayong mga brownout, pero you know, not because of wildfire. So nung lumipat ako sa Sydney, that's the first time na naka-experience ako ng wildfire, and I was then working with an energy company. And so, hindi ko alam kung natatandaan po ninyo, doon sa may Quezon City Memorial Circle, kung nakatira kayo no, at that time, merong parang poem, na mga naka-post na mga poem around QC Memorial Circle, no? It was about trees. So nung bata ako, tuwang-tuwa ako sa mga puno. Nung lumipat ako sa Sydney, natakot na ako sa mga puno. Dahil yung puno po big source of our wildfire. So here, I wanted to talk a little bit about PG&E and the area that we serve. Sigurado po ako nakilala niyo yung PG&E because you receive a bill from us, di po ba? But in PG&E, we serve customers and provide them natural gas and electric service. And we serve about 16 million people across our service area. In terms of customer accounts po, more than 5 million kami for electrical customer accounts and about 4.5 million po for gas services. And that is over an area of 70,000 square miles. So kung titingnan po natin dyan sa mapa na yan, no? In the north, Eureka po ang boundary namin. In the south, Bakersfield. Sa east, Sierra Nevada. And then of course sa west, Pacific Ocean na po yan. So hindi yan pasok sa service area namin. Ano? And the reason I mentioned this map is because this map is actually created by our regulator. Ang pangalan ng regulator namin, California Public Utilities Commission. Okay, or CPUC. Ang CPUC po, regulator din yan, not just of PG&E, but other utilities in California. And this map was actually created by the CPUC after consulting with other government agencies like CAL FIRE, and then kinonsulta din po kami about this. Yung orange na nakikita nyo dyan, yan ang tinatawag ng CPUC na High Fire Risk Area. So HFRA, makikita nyo po yan throughout this presentation natin ngayon. So it's called HFRA dahil yan po ang nagpapakita kung gaano kalala o ang panganib galing sa wildfire. So meron tayong tinatawag na Tier 3. Ang Tier 3 talaga yan yung extreme risk of wildfire. Tapos meron din tayong Tier 2, elevated risk. Hindi kasing lala ng Tier 3. And of course, there's also what we call Zone 1. Yan yung mga high hazard zones, yung maraming mga patay na puno. Tuyong-tuyo yung area. Now, within that, let me give you a little bit of context kung bakit mahalaga yung kulay orange na yan. It's because more than 50% po ng lugar na sineserbisyuhan namin sa PG&E ay pasok dyan sa kulay orange, high fire risk area. So in terms of our customers, entire system, more than 5 million po yung electric customer accounts namin, and 494,000 po niyan nandoon sa kulay orange, high fire risk area. In terms of distribution miles, 26% po ng aming distribution miles ay pasok dyan sa high fire risk area. And transmission line miles naman po, 31% ang pasok sa HFRA. Siguro ganito, no? Kung nagda-drive po kayo sa highway minsan, nakikita niyo po ba yung mga towers, yung matataas na, like 180-foot metal towers? Ang tawag po dyan, transmission towers. And it's transmission towers that bring electricity, carries electricity through the electrical grid. High voltage po yan, siguro mga 60 to 500 kV. Hindi tayo pwedeng mag-connect ng ating bahay diretso sa mga transmission lines kasi masyadong mataas yung voltage, no? So dinadala po yan sa mga substation, sa mga junction, switching points para mababaan yung voltage. And then ang nagko-connect po sa inyong bahay ay yung tinatawag na distribution line miles. So yan po yung nakikita nyo dyan, 108,500 distribution line miles in PG&E. 26% po niyan and nandun sa loob ng high fire risk area. So maybe we can go to the next slide because ito po, because of the amount ng service area namin na nasa high fire risk area, sinusigurado po namin na talagang na-address namin yung mga concerns ng aming mga customers about wildfire. So ang pag-uusapan po natin ngayon, paano pinipigilan ng PG&E ang wildfires, paano namin binabawasan yung mga impact sa ating communities ng wildfire. And we want to share with you how we provide support para sa aming mga customers. And in the next slide, The answer to all these questions is related to the different layers of wildfire protection na ginagawa ng PG&E. So yung Community Wildfire Safety Program, so nilaunch po namin yan way back in 2018. Yan yung talagang nagkaroon ng maraming wildfire. So ito yung paraan namin para siguraduhin, maprotektahan ang publiko. And since we've launched that, we have reduced 94% of wildfire risk po sa aming sistema. At ginagawa namin yan dahil marami kaming iba-ibang programa para, one, yung situational awareness, nakikita niyo po dyan. Effectively, napaka-social nung aming tawag, situational awareness. But really, dalawang klase lang po yan. Naglalagay kami ng high-definition camera at meron kaming mga weather stations all across our service area. And then yung dalawa, letter B at saka letter C na nakikita niyo dyan, I'm sure familiar kayo dito. So sa Pilipinas, ang tawag natin dyan, brownout. Dito sa California, dalawang klase yan. We call them Enhanced Power Line Safety Setting, EPSS. The other one is Public Safety Power Shutoff, or PSPS. Right? Ito po yung iba't iba namin ginagawa para ma-address yung wildfire. And if we go to the next slide, we can go to a little bit more detail about the different layers of protection. Okay. So, in the next slide, makikita niyo po dito, ma-picture ng puno, before and after. So, ako po'y takot na takot sa mga puno dito. So, if you look at the before photo, hindi niyo makikita yung overhead power lines namin, ano? Kasi nako-cover ng mga sanga, ng mga puno. Tapos, tingnan niyo po yung ground. Ang daming grass, maraming mga iba't ibang branches na maaring nahulog dyan. Lahat po yan pwedeng mag-cause ng wildfire dahil tuyong-tuyo. So as part po ng mga programa namin, what we try to do is ensure that we trim our trees and then nililinis po namin yung ground, tinatanggal namin yung mga brush or yung mga nahulog na tuyong dahon within a 12-foot radius around our towers. So you can see the big difference before we do our vegetation management work and then after we do our vegetation management work. We find that yung mga puno talaga, yun isa sa pinakamalaking risk for wildfires here in California. So that's one, vegetation management. Yung pangalawa po, we can go to the next slide. It's really what we call, system hardening. We're trying to strengthen the electric grid. And we do that in two ways. Yung una po, tinatakpan namin yung aming mga power lines para maprotektahan sila from any hazards. And then, yung isa pa namin ginagawa, pinapatibay namin yung aming mga poste ng electrical poles. And together, we call that system hardening because it helps our electric system. The one that goes next is in the next slide. It's called undergrounding our power lines. So, ito pong undergrounding. Ito po yung nakikita namin na pinaka-epektibong solusyon long-term para mapigilan ang wildfire. In fact, ang aming mga data indicates na halos matatanggal na ang wildfire risk in a particular location kung naka-underground po ang mga power lines namin. So PG&E, we committed to 10,000 miles of undergrounding in those orange areas na pinakita ko sa inyo earlier today. So maliban sa mapipigilan niya yung wildfire, it will limit talaga po yung future safety-related brownouts or outages. Tapos may improve pa niya yung reliability ng system natin. And also, nababawasan po yung ongoing maintenance and vegetation management costs. Kasi nakita niyo po yung picture kanina, yung maraming mga puno. Lagi po namin pinapatrol yan at paulit-ulit minsan sa isang lokasyon. Binabalikan namin. Tapos na, pinuputol namin yung mga puno. Ang dami pong puno dito sa California across our service area. So, we have so far completed mga 630 miles of undergrounding across our service area. Tapos marami pa po yan hanggang in the future, including 2026. So, you will be able to find information kung pasok po yung kung saan kayo nakatira dito sa undergrounding. Diyan sa, nakikita niyo po sa at the end of that, at the bottom of the slide, pwede kayong pumunta sa website sa namin on undergrounding and check kung ano po yung progress namin in terms of undergrounding. Now, in the next slide, we can look at it. This is what I called earlier in situational awareness, no? Ito po yung high definition camera. So, nung 2022 po, nakapag-install kami ng about 600 high definition cameras. Yung network na yan. And it allowed us to see more than 90% ng aming service area. So, marami po kaming camera dyan. And it's accessible not just by PG&E. Sinishare po namin yan sa other organizations like CAL FIRE. pwede po nilang gamitin yung camera na yan. And then on the other side, you can see naman mga weather station. And these weather stations that we've installed across our service area gives us accurate real-time information para up-to-date po at current ang lahat ng impormasyon na kinukuha namin. And the reason we need this is gusto po namin yung mga decisions namin in relation to what happens for our customers, particularly for safety, is always current and up-to-date. Okay. Lahat po ng impormasyon na yan, pwede niyong makita sa aming website. So if we go to the next slide, you'll see here the Wildfire Safety Progress Map. Lahat po ng impormasyon makikita niyo dyan. It's really interactive, it's accessible, it's personalized, and comprehensive po yan. And if you go to that map, you can actually plug in any of the information that you need, that you can see in this slide, and you'd be able to get that information. And then, of course, if you have more questions, you can just go to the chat and send us a note or an email or call us in that 1-800 number. So, yan po yung mga basics about Community Wildfire Safety Program. Maybe I'll pause here for a second. I can't really see any hands raised. So, meron po ba kayong mga questions for now? Okay, I don't think so.
Yeah, question.
Yes.
Yeah, regarding yung you mentioned about the tree line. Because sometimes, who do we contact pag medyo natatamaan na in our area, whether the city or PG&E? So who do we contact?
Yes, so meron pong email na pwede niyong padalan, treesafety@pge.com. Pwede niyong ipadala doon. Pero ito yung mas okay. Meron pong app. Di ba lahat ng bagay meron app. Meron po yung PG&E, ang tawag namin, Report It app. So yung app na yan, pag dinownload nyo, pwedeng mangyari. You can take a photo kung ano po yung concern niyo about a tree na pwedeng, kunyari, nakikita nyo may power line, tapos may puno doon na sabi, oh, it's touching the power line.
Yes.
You can take a photo of that one and then send it, upload it in that app. And once you upload it, makikita nyo po yung progress. Pag binuksan na namin yon, pag tinignan namin yung case, we'll give you updates on what happened. So those are two areas through which you can provide information.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Yeah. Meron pong ibang question about the past few slides. If not, pwede tayo mag-usap tungkol sa sunod na slide, enhanced power line safety setting and public safety power shut. So I said earlier, susunod na po tayo. You can just jump to the next one. Yan. Ang sunod dyan, enhanced power line safety setting. Okay. So ito po yung binanggit ko kanina sa Pilipinas, tawag natin brownout. So dito, dalawang klase yan, enhanced power line safety settings, EPSS. So ito pong EPSS, in-implement namin yan in 2021. Ang nangyari po dyan, we made our power line settings very sensitive such that in 1/10 of a second, pag merong hazard na magta-touch sa aming power lines, napapatay ang kuryente. Otomatiko po yan. Right? So pag napatay ang kuryente, meron kaming crews na pumupunta dyan, titingnan nila kung safe yung lugar, tapos noon i-repair nila yung damage and restore the power. And we found po, kita niyo 72% na yan in 2023, meron kaming 73% reduction na nakita in ignitions caused by our power lines. So napatunayan po namin talagang epektibo ito to reduce the risk of wildfire. Ngayon, ang nangyayari of course, kapag merong dumidikit dun sa aming mga power line, napapatay yung kuryente. Alam po namin na mahirap mawalan ng kuryente. Ako rin po, nawawalan ako ng kuryente sa aking bahay. So mahirap kung walang refrigerator o microwave. Or kung di ako makakaparoon ng Netflix, medyo mahirap. So what we're trying to do is to ensure na binabawasan namin yung length o yung haba ng panahon na naka-brown out tayo, walang kuryente, at saka yung frequency niyan. So marami kami mga improvements na ginawa in the past year. For example, yung madalas na nakaka-touch ng mga power lines namin, yung mga branches ng puno. So as I mentioned earlier, nagpapatrol kami as part of our vegetation management work. Nag-i-inspect kami ng mga puno, pinuputol namin yung mga sanga, lalo na kung malapit na dun sa aming mga power lines. Yung isa po pong cause ng contact dito, tawag namin avian contact. Ibig lang po sabihin yan, birds. Yung mga birds ay lumilipad at nauupo doon sa power line namin. Minsan nagko-cause siya ng pagkawala ng kuryente kasi napaka-sensitive ng settings namin, di po ba? So, naglalagay kami ng mga bird and animal guards dyan para hindi sila makaupo dun sa power line. So, maraming iba't ibang mga ginagawa to ensure this. Now, the only disadvantage ng EPSS, of course, dahil automatic yan, hindi kami makapagbigay ng notification sa aming mga customers bago mapatay yung kuryente. Diba? Kasi automatic. Now, let's compare that to the next slide, which is the public safety power shutoff. Ito naman po, planado ito. So, pwede kami magbigay ng notice sa inyo. And the notices, yung mga customer alert po namin, it happens at the 48-hour mark, bago namin patayin yung kuryente, nagpapadala kami ng notice. 24 hours before, padala kami ng isa pang notice. And just before namin patayin yung kuryente, we provide another notice. And then of course, during the course of the outage, we will give you information about the expected time of restoration. Ito namang PSPS, dahil planado, ang cost talaga nito ay high winds. Kung sobrang sama talaga ng weather, na what happens is that yung mga tree branches or debris nagko-contact sa mga power lines namin or damages our equipment at pwede siyang mag-cause ng wildfire. Pero gusto ko pong i-emphasize, ito pong PSPS ay program of last resort. That's what we call it. Kasi talagang kung sobrang sama lang talaga ng panahon, bago namin patayin yung kuryente. In 2022, we did not have any PSPS events. In 2023, we had 2 over 8 counties. And then here now in 2024, nakadalawa po kami. So effectively, 3 po yun, pero yung isa hindi na implement. So 2 po yung aming PSPS this year. So sa sunod na slide po, it's really just a summary of the differences between EPSS and PSPS. So as I mentioned earlier, yung EPSS po, automatic yan. Hindi kami makakapagbigay ng notification beforehand. Ang PSPS, caused by really extreme weather, pwede kami mag-notify. And this is why po it's so important for us to have your preferred contact information. Kasi ito po yung paraan namin para ma-notify kayo kung matatanggalan ng kuryente at the time. Yeah? I'm gonna pause here. I can't see hand raised. So kung meron po kayong question, let me know. And I can pause and answer questions. Maybe we can go to the next slide. Kung may mga tanong po kayo. All right. Kung wala po, I guess we can proceed to the next one. Itong next one po, ito yung mga customer services na pinoprovide namin para masuportahan yung
Regina?
Yes, go ahead. Please.
Before you go forward, Esther has raised her hand.
Sure, go for it.
Esther, please unmute yourself. Thank you.
So how soon can PG&E alert customers in a particular area where fires just started?
Oh, for wildfires po, as opposed to, I think you meant bagong magkaroon ng planadong pagkapatay ng kuryente. Kasi po,
For wildfire, just unexpected,
yeah, so if there's a fire po, hindi po yung PG&E ang nagpapadala ng notification. So we provide the notification when we are about to turn the power off for PSPS. But if there's a wildfire that started like within your community, and PG&E is not involved at that point, we don't really provide a notification blast to our customers. And there's a good website that you can go to po to get more information about wildfires, sa CAL FIRE website po. And Fiona can post in the chat the CAL FIRE website.
Thank you.
May iba po ba mga question? I can't see any hands raised. So
Regina, sorry,
Yes.
I just have a quick question. So earlier you showed pictures of PG&E working on like trees and land. How about hard to reach areas, private private residences where vegetation has grown unhampered? Are you able to work in those areas or contact homeowners or landowners?
Yes, so but before we enter po yung mga areas na yon, we always ask for permission from the property owner before we go in. We provide notification. Usually as part of our vegetation management work, we notify the property owner Tapos minamarkahan po namin yung mga puno at saka halaman na either ititrim namin or puputulin namin. It can be done by may paint kami or sometimes we tie a ribbon around it, we have a marker. And then usually within a period of mga 4 to 6 weeks, we come back, we notify you in order to do the tree work. Yan po yung proseso namin.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, meron pa po bang ibang hands raised? Because I can't see.
Yes. Esther? Go ahead, Esther. Please unmute.
Oh, no, I'm good.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, well, then we can go to the next slide. Let's talk about ano po yung mga resources na available para sa ating mga customer. Yung una po, ang tinatawag na CRC, Community Resource Center. So, binubuksan po namin itong mga center na to during public safety power shutoff. Ang nangyayari po sa mga centers na yan, pwede kayong pumunta dyan, tapos nang pwede kayong mag-charge ng inyong mga personal and medical device, like yung phone nyo, pwede kayong mag-charge dyan. Nagpo-provide din kami dyan ng water and some food. And it's a safe space to be in during a PSPS event. So that's one. And then in the next slide, another service that we provide, ito po para sa aming mga customers with disabilities. Ang tawag po dyan, Disability, Disaster, Access, and Resources, DDAR. So kakibat po namin dyan ang California Foundation for Independent Living Centers para i-provide itong service na to. Effectively, these are emergency preparedness planning services that we provide. Nagbibigay din po kami dyan ng portable batteries. And minsan, kung qualified po yung aming customer, we also provide yung hotel or other accommodation, transportation, and food stipend. Ang mga requirements po para maka-qualify dito is there in the slide. So basically, these are the electricity-dependent individuals na mataas yung kanilang risk of harm sa kanilang health, sa safety, sa independence, during a PSPS or other emergency event. And required po na dapat located. Remember yung pinakita ko sa inyong mapa kanina, yung sa orange? Dapat po to avail of this service, dapat nandun kayo sa kulay orange. Or naka-experience kayo ng 2 or more PSPS outages since 2020. Right? Meron yata akong nakitang question in the chat. Will you be providing the slides to media? Fiona, I'll let you answer that question. But I believe the answer is okay. But I'll let Fiona answer that one. Okay. Yung next question, next slide po natin. Portable battery program. So, ang PG&E po, nagpo-provide din kami ng portable battery sa inyo. Fully subsidized po yan para sa mga eligible customers. And in order to take advantage of this one, kailangan po naka-enroll kayo sa medical baseline. Ang medical baseline po, para yan sa mga customers namin, residential customers na meron kayong qualifying medical device because of a qualifying medical condition. So, for example, mga halimbawa, kung meron kayong respirator, and yung respirator is very much dependent on electricity, diba? So pwede kayong maging medical baseline customer. Yung mga merong iron lang, o kunyari meron kayong sleep apnea at kailangan nyo yung sleep apnea machine nyo para maka-breathe kayo, no? So pwede po kayong mag-avail nitong mga battery program. So yan yung isang halimbawa ng aming battery programs. There are a few others that I'll discuss later. And then, in the next slide po, ito naman, nag-design kami in the next slide ng bagong meter design. Ang ginagawa po nito, mas madali gamitin yung backup power, kung meron kayong backup power sa inyong bahay, sa inyong business, mas madali pong i-connect yung portable generator power sa bahay. Few minutes lang pwede nang mag-connect. Kasi yung power po, delivered directly sa circuit breaker. So wala na mga power cord, hindi nyo na kailangan nun. So ito po, libre itong service na to, produkto para sa mga customers na merong compatible generator. So yan po yan. And then in the next slide, ito, generator and battery rebate program. So yung mga qualified customer po dito sa programa na to can get $300. Kung medical baseline kayo, which I referred to earlier, meron pa kayong extra $200. But this service is for eligible customers. They get a rebate sa pag bumibili sila ng qualifying generator or battery para maghanda sa mga outage. Again, may mga qualifications ito. Kailangan meron kayong active na account sa PG&E. Kailangan nandun kayo sa orange, yung sa mapa po kanina, nandun kayo sa orange area ng aming service area, or nasa isang circuit kayo na enhanced power line safety settings enabled. Kasi yun yung automatic na napapatay, di ba? Yung kuryente. So kung nandun kayo sa area na yon, pwede kayong mag-avail nito. And yung generator, kailangan pasok yan dun sa listahan namin ng mga generator. Okay. So next slide naman, this is another program that we provide. Ito, rebate din po. Mas malaki yung rebate nito, $5,000 kasi mas mahal yung permanent battery storage eh. So pag bumili kayo ng, tsaka tapos nag-install kayo ng qualifying permanent battery storage sa bahay nyo, or sa inyong business, you can get up to $5,000. So yan po. And then, siguro lastly, yung isang, yep, sorry, go ahead.
Regina, before you proceed, Esther has raised her hand.
Oh,
Esther?
Esther, go for it.
Yes, Regina. Where can we get a list of the approved batteries?
Yes. So, yung iba-iba pong batteries yan. So, at the bottom of every slide, you can see a link. So, Esther, maybe we can get Fiona to cut and paste all these ones. So, makikita niyo po sa dulo ng bawat slide, merong information dan. Lahat po yan, nililista niya kung ano yung mga qualifying requirements. Yan po. Thank you for the question. That's a good one because it's important that we know if we qualify or not, diba? Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
Yeah, regarding you to avail the battery, you said you have to have an existing account. But does your name have to be on the bill? You're the primary or it's a household?
Household po yan. So depende po sa kung anong program, battery program. Kasi yung PG&E account po nakapasok sa isang pangalan ng isang tao, no?
Yes.
So it's usually that person. But you know what, Fiona, the question relates to whether our rebate programs, our battery programs, can only be availed by the customer of record. In other words, the name of the person in the customer account. So maybe Fiona, if you could kindly post in the chat, if we have other ways with which a customer who is not the customer of record can avail of any of our battery programs, whether it's portable or the bigger generator and battery rebate programs. Thank you po for the question.
Yes.
Regina,
But
I
you-
have a question. So
Sure.
all of these battery programs, you have to be, or the residents has to be within that orange zone in the map that you shared earlier. So
Not all po.
residences,
Yeah.
okay.
Not all po. For example, itong permanent battery storage rebate, like this one that you can see, hindi po requirement dyan na nasa orange area kayo, sa high fire risk area, compared to the other rebate programs. Ang requirement po dito sa permanent battery storage rebate of $5,000, dapat naka-experience po kayo ng 8 or more outages sa isang EPSS protected circuit, yung sensitibong circuit. Dapat nandun kayo since January 1, 2022. Yun po. So it's not always dependent on that orange area. Yung ibang programa po, there are other qualifying requirements.
So if you have a follow-up question, if you
Sure.
have solar in your residence,
Mhm.
is there a PG&E program that will provide assistance to purchase battery storage for solar power?
Well, separate po yan. So dalawang separate na ano po yan. Siguro punta tayo sa sunod na slide kasi yan po ang part na sagot sa inyong tanong. So Fiona will post in the chat ano yung mga solar services and mga contact details, more information about solar. So sometimes po, when you put solar, you also have, you put a power wall. So in this case, ito po sa picture, nakikita nyo Tesla Powerwall. Meron din po kaming program that supports that. Ito po yung Self-Generation Incentive Program. Ito naman po, we also offer rebates to help you save on your energy storage system for your homes or your business. So ang outage kasi, pwedeng mangyari yan at any time because of the weather, di ba? Nakita naman natin kanina, may mga iba't ibang dahilan kung bakit tayo nagkakaroon ng power outage, right? So this battery storage like the Tesla Power Pack, it gives backup power for your home or your business and nababawasan po potentially yung inyong energy costs. So that's part of the answer. Now, separately, if you have solar panels, you can also get more information from that site that Fiona will be providing there. Okay. I can't see hands raised, so sabihin niyo po sa akin kung meron pang mga ibang question. If not, we can go to the next slide. Because this is where in the next slide you can find other information about the services that we provide at kung ano po yung mga tips. Kunyari, wildfire safety, you can go to that wildfire safety section of PG&E. Yung mga safety action center, you can go to the another website. And if you want free and confidential support and resources via calls and text, pwede po kayo pumunta sa 211ca.org. Okay. And that's pretty much it for the slides. I want to be able po to give more time para kung meron kayong mga questions. I'm okay to put down the screen po if you want. Ayan. Yan, I can see all of you now. That's good.
So, can I have a question?
Sure.
So, with all these improvements by PG&E, does it affect the billing electric bills?
Okay. With all the improvements that we've undertaken, especially the reduction in wildfire risk, my answer to that is, pwede po ba natin ibalik yung slide? Sorry. Kasi ito yung pinakamadaling way para ipaliwanag ko sa inyo yung customer bill. Alam ko marami po sa inyo na, or baka may mga kaibigan kayo na nagsasabi na ko, ang hirap naman na, ang mahal-mahal naman ng customer bill ko. So, this is how I'm going to answer that, Ma'am Esther, okay? Let's pretend your customer bill is this dollar bill, okay? I'll take you through the different components of your bill. More than 1/3 po of your bill are requirements that we have to comply with. Ang tawag dyan, state mandates. So, halimbawa, yung binanggit ko kanina, required po kami mag-trim ng mga puno. Nandyan po yan sa 31 cents of your $1 bill. Lahat ng mga requirement para sa EPSS and PSPS, nandyan po yan sa 31 cents. Merong mga state or public programs na sinasubsidize, na required kaming isubsidize as part of the bill, pasok din po dyan yan, yung mga public purpose programs natin. In other words, 31% of your bill is really because we are mandated to charge that as part of your bill. Yung 32 cents, lahat yan po yung talang cost. Yung para madala namin, mag-generate kami ng power, bumili kami ng power from other power plants. That's another third of your bill. 22% of the bill, 22 cents of that dollar bill, yan po naman yung operations and maintenance. Like any other business, kailangan po namin ng maintenance and upgrades po. So, nandun yung 22 cents. And then 5 cents will be on taxes. At, you know, yung kinikita po ng PG&E, na regulator authorized po, hindi pwedeng mag-decide lang kami bigla. Yan, thank you for pointing it out. That's regulator authorized earnings, 10 cents lang po yan ng buong bill. So, yung, Ma'am Esther, yung tanong po ninyo actually relates to the 22 cents. Because of the improvements and waste elimination opportunities na ginagawa namin internally, sinisigurado namin na talagang efficient at effective yung pag-provide namin ng operations para sa aming mga customers. So, all the information that I provided earlier that we are trying to ensure na nababawasan yung wildfire risk, pasok po yan dyan sa 22 cents. So all the improvements that we do to make the way that we operate and run our business more efficiently and more effectively does impact that 22 cents.
Oh, thank you for explaining the bill. Para hindi ako
Yeah.
makita pag nakita ko ang aking bill, electric bill.
Yeah. Minsan po talaga mahirap maintindihan yung bill. So I thought yung visual na yan would be helpful.
So, Attorney Benson, with regard to undergrounding,
Yeah.
undergrounding the line,
Power line. Yeah.
power lines, how does that impact? Because California is an earthquake-prone
Yep.
or area. How I suppose you PG&E has studied the impact of earthquakes and ground movement when it comes to
Yes.
undergrounding.
Yes, Sir Jojo. So what we do, meron kami mga seismic, we always have seismic studies. Hindi lang bigla-bigla magde-decide kami, oh, sa lugar na to, mag-underground tayo. So before pa namin ilagay yan sa aming work plan, marami pong mga work and studies na ginagawa kami, which include seismic. Yeah.
And will there be a point where undergrounding will be the norm? Because I know they say in some countries, undergrounding has been implemented widely. So
Yes. music to my ears po yan. So ang commitment po namin, 10,000 miles ang gusto namin i-underground dun sa orange area. Pero hindi po namin pwedeng gawin yan on our own kasi may mga, may mga kailangan kaming approvals na makukuha, kailangan ensure yung iba pang stakeholder, kung nakukonsulta rin. And of course, yung regulator namin has to sign off on all the undergrounding. Recently po, in-approve actually ng CPUC, ng aming regulator, for us to do some undergrounding work. Hindi for the full 10,000 miles, but a portion of it po. And to date, we were able to underground 630 miles of undergrounding na. So, nag-agree po ako sa inyo, ang pinaka-epektibong way para malabanan ang wildfire risk really is undergrounding. But it's not as easy to implement because we also have to take along so many other stakeholders.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have a question.
sure.
Yeah, back to, the question of Georgia undergrounding. I
Yeah.
know for new cities or town, they're already implementing that. What about for yung mga existing yung mga old town, old cities? So is that part of the 10,000 or 90% program
Yes.
that
Yeah.
would also be in the pipeline to put underground all the wirings?
Yeah, I saw what you did there. You said pipeline. Ang galing ng pun intended. So, ang pipeline po of undergrounding work, so available yan sa aming website. Hindi namin mapipredict lahat or mabibigay ng information lahat ng mga lugar kung saan kami mag-underground. Kasi po, dependent yan on so many factors. And ang haba po ng lead time. Meron nga kami mga tinitingnan na until 2026. So, my response to that is work plans change. And so, because of that long lead time and all the approvals that we need to get, we cannot always say, for sure, this is where we will underground, unless we already have the permit and we're starting to do it. But you know what? The best way to find out if that area will be subject to undergrounding is to go to pge.com/undergrounding. Kasi po, doon may information kung saan yung mga undergrounding work namin. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay, I don't see any other questions and I don't think there's any in the chat. So, Ma'am Esther, go for it.
Have you seen a real effect of the undergrounding that you've done?
Absolutely. Our studies have indicated that this is the most effective solution. Long-term po. Ito talaga ang pinaka-effective. And not only that, maliban sa mapipigilan niya yung wildfire, kasi nakabaon na sa ilalim eh. So lahat ng mga concerns natin kanina about yung mga branches na nahuhulog sa overhead power lines, tanggal na yan. So yung cost is an issue as well. Di ba kasi alam niyo po, mahal. Nakita niyo dun sa dollar bill, yung 1/3%, part of that is tree trimming. Siguro so ilang bilyon ang nasa-spend on that for a particular area, no? So yan yung isa pang effect kung mag-underground tayo, matatanggal na yung risk galing sa puno. And it's going to impact on our vegetation management costs and maintenance costs. And overall, because hindi napapatay yung kuryente dahil hindi nahuhulog yung mga dahon or sanga dun sa aming mga power lines, tatanggal yung risk na magkaroon ng brownout.
With those improvements, do we see any reduction in our bill in the future?
We hope so. We hope so. So, yung ang ginagawa po ng PG&E, we are really lobbying in relation to that 31 cents of that bill, yung mga state policies, because we hope that the government will be able to consider that maybe it doesn't belong in the customer bill, right? So, part po yan ng advocacy work na ginagawa namin.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question on undergrounding.
Sure.
Is the undergrounding strategy just to prevent wildfires, or are you going to implement the strategy also in urban areas and communities?
Hindi ko po pwedeng i-confirm which urban areas, but in response to your first question, is that a strategy for wildfire? Opo, dun po namin kinuha yung idea about undergrounding. Yan yung primary reason kung bakit gusto namin mag-underground, because of the wildfire risk. Whether we're going to go to the urban areas at this stage, hindi pa po yan confirmed. But again, if it falls within the 10,000 miles, no, in the high fire risk areas, there are some of that orange. Tatandaan niyo po yung orange kanina sa mapa. May mga urban areas po na covered dyan. So if they fall within that HFRA na 10,000 miles sa aming plano, pwede po sa urban centers.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, I think no more questions, Ma'am Esther, so I'll hand it back to you po.
Oh, I think Francis had a question. Francis?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, back to not the battery storage, the other battery. Because you mentioned on the battery storage to qualify, you have to have like 8 or 10 brownouts.
Mm-hmm.
What about for the battery, just the small, the one that you first,
Portable battery. So
the portable battery?
Yeah, kung portable battery program po, fully subsidized yan sa amin. Ang mga requirements lang yan, kailangan enrolled kayo dun sa medical baseline program. Yun po yung kung meron kayong medical issue, tapos na you
CPAP.
electricity. Sleep apnea po kayo?
Yeah.
Ayun, qualifying medical device po ang sleep apnea. May mga requirements kami kung paano nyo mapatutunayan lo. Kailangan yung doktor ninyo, merong certification and all that. And kailangan nakapag-experience kayo ng at least 1 PSPS event since 2021. Or 5 or more EPSS outages po. Yung EPSS yun yung automatic na napapatay. Since yan. Yan po yung mga qualifying. And then maybe what Fiona can do, and I think she did, she posted all the different sites where you can find kung qualified po kayo. Makikita niyo yan. Qualified kayo sa mga different programs namin. And I'm sorry you have sleep apnea. Ang hirap po kaya niyan, no?
I know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, welcome. Ma'am Esther, back to you.
Yes, so are there any, are we going back to the slides or are we winding down?
Winding down na po. I don't have anything more to present unless anybody has other questions.
Anybody? So at this point, we'd like to thank you, Attorney Benson and Fiona, for this informative, life-saving presentation about safety and wildfire prevention, programs of PG&E, and the resources available to all PG&E customers. Salamat din sa ating facilitator na si Wenny Conedy. At sa inyong lahat, maraming salamat sa iyong pagdalo ngayong gabi or ngayong hapon.
Thank you.
Salamat po. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Bye.